down for the drills. That's anywhere, that's anytime, you can still get pills. I'm aiming for wigs, so I'm aiming to kill. Set up in the men's, don't give a fuck, you can still get drilled. All I wanna do is crush that porn. My niggas them told me make peace before you go to war. I said fuck that, I wanna drill now and then drill some more. Smoke my man in the face, yeah that point got scored. Couldn't give a toss about law. Niggas no CP. More time if it was done by the 7, it was done by me. I ride for my G's, put my heart on the streets. So if you see me, that's not my teeth. So chat tough and I'm spinning round. Ask the ops how that spin the sounds. When I spin the banks, try and know that's a nigga down. And where I'm from, we always know to keep things around. All the risks that the team be taking. That's why my nigga Nero's money.
Hi all, it's Loz D. Punch Out TV. How are you all doing on this Tuesday evening? Just want to quickly talk about my thoughts about the fight at the weekend between Brook and Terence Bud Crawford. I watched the fight yesterday. I wanted to do this video yesterday, but I didn't have time, so I'll just shoot it quick now. I watched the fight, and I watched it again yesterday. I think it was a great performance by both guys. I think Kell was doing very well using his jab. Caught Terence quite a few times with the straight right, using his jab. Then Bud, after round 2, seemed to adjust to southpaw. He started to close the distance. He even said after the fight in his press conference that he was trying to find the distance between them. And he caught Brook with a peach of a right hand, sort of like a hook. But how he sneaked it in, Kell threw a looping right hand, and Terence caught him with a peach of a sneaky right hand, which sent Kell stumbling into the ropes. The referee gave him the standing count, asked him if he was okay to go on, and he said yeah. And then we all know Terence Bud Crawford is an exceptional finisher, and he pounced on Kell. I've just been reading some comments on a few of the channels, but I was just reading one of the comments before, and some guy was saying, "Oh, I can't give Bud Crawford credit because it was a washed-up Brook." No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That wasn't a washed-up Brook. Brook made that weight easy. He came into that fight looking strong. I've heard some people say he looked drained. Not in my eyes, he didn't. I think he looked in tip-top condition. Okay, Kell might not be as good. He might have slipped down a little bit. He's not as good as what he was a few years ago, but Brook is still a damn good fighter, and he's good enough to cause anyone problems. I still have him in the top 10 welterweights. Easy. I still think he's in the top 10. I've always said that I wanted Kell to win, obviously, because he's from the UK. But I've got mad respect for both the fighters. I think Bud Crawford's a phenomenal fighter. I think Kell Brook's a good fighter. At first I had Kell to win it, and then as it got closer and closer to the fight, I had Terence Bud Crawford to win on a UD. I didn't think that Bud was going to stop him, but once again Bud showed that he belongs in that division. It was a good fight whilst it lasted. I thought Kell would have gone on to do a bit more, but at the end of the day, he got caught with a peach of a punch. It wasn't a lucky punch. He timed Bud Crawford timed that to perfection. As Kell threw his, he threw his, and he got his off first, and that's end of. And even Kell said after, I watched the interview, Kell said, no one's ever done that to me before in training, like sparring or in the ring. And like I say, you have to take my hat off to Bud Crawford. He's a fantastic fighter. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the fight. Like I say, I wish Kell could have gone on to do a bit more. But at the end of the day, I still believe that was an in-shape, on-form Kell Brook. I don't hear people saying, oh, he's washed up, he's over the hill. No, he wasn't. At the end of the day, Kell Brook, I know he's only fought 3 times in over 3 years. But at the end of the day, Kell Brook was coming off a win. All 3 wins, and his last win was in February of this year. And Kell's kept himself in shape. He said he'd been training hard for it through the COVID, through the pandemic. So there's no excuses. He got beat. Even Kell said he got beat by the better man. There's no excuses. He said, I was watching his interview with Top Rank after the fight, and he was saying, if I ever go out, I want to go out on my shield. I didn't want to go out through an injury. He said, I wanted to go out on my shield, and at the end of the day, I got beat off the better man, and which he did. So, hats off to both fighters. Like I say, I've got mad respect for both fighters. What next for Kell? He's approaching 35. I don't believe he's ever going to get the Amir Khan fight. I don't think that'll ever happen, so I'd kick that to the curb. And maybe I don't know. I think Kell's done enough. For me, he's done enough for the sport. Maybe see him become a commentator on Sky Sports. They get good money. Like Tony Bellew and Carl Froch and all them. Because I don't know what else there is for Kell to do. He can't. I'm not saying he can't mix it with Kell can mix it with anyone, but he isn't the type of fighter what's going to stay there with the elite fighters like your Danny Garcia's, your Errol Spence Jr. and your Terence Bud Crawfords and fighters like that, you know. Even though he'd still win rounds against them fighters, he isn't up there with them type of fighters. I can't see him doing anything at 154 because I believe, I don't think he'd mix it with the likes of Charlo. No chance. And that's not being hard on Kell. I'm being serious. You know, you've got some good fighters in that division. So maybe I think it is time for Kell to hang up the gloves, but I still think that Kell had, if he hadn't got caught with that punch, I think it could have gone on to be a even better fight. But for the rounds what it lasted, it was a good fight. Like I say, hats off to both fighters for making the fight. So maybe I think Kell should turn it in now. What's next for Terence Bud Crawford? Well, this is the $60 million question, or the $1 million question, however you want to say it. What I've heard, I try to stay out of the politics side of it, but I have heard that shit, my light's gone off. I have heard that he's got a loophole in getting out of his contract with Top Rank, which if he can, that'd be excellent. Sign with the PBC, because then you're definitely going to get that fight, I believe, with Errol Spence Jr. End of the day, that's a fight what everybody wants to see. That's the most wanted fight, I think, in the boxing world. Everybody wants to see that fight. Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. Both of them are unbeaten. Both of them have got titles. Both of them are multi-world, especially Bud Crawford is a multi-world champion at different weights. and Spence is a unified world champion at 147 after beating Porter and Kell Brook. So that's the fight what everyone wants to see. I want to see it. So if Bud can get out of that deal, out of his contract with Top Rank, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. And so, like I say, sign with the PBC, and let's get this fight on, because this fight's got to happen. It's got to happen. I mean, I was watching Bob Arum talking shit the other day, so Spence Jr.'s ducked Bud Crawford and all this shite, and he'd do the same to Spence Jr. But Bob, come on, man, just wind your neck in. End of the day, this fight could have been made. You've stopped this fight from happening, and you know you have. You stopped this fight like you did with the Pacquiao and Mayweather one. You spun it out for 6 years, as you call marinading it. So that's the fight I want to see. I mean, he's on about fighting Pacquiao next. I suppose if they can make the fight, yeah, because Pacquiao holds the WBA super title, and I think he still holds the WBA regular title. So then they'd both be unified, and then they'd have 2 belts each. Make that fight for undisputed, because this is what needs in the 147 division. It needs a massive shake-up, and now, like I say, Bud's done his side by beating a good fighter, a very, very, very good, solid fighter, Kell Brook. Spence, not even having a tune-up fight, comes straight into a dangerous fight with a former world champion and a great counterpuncher, Danny Garcia. Spence has had a year out after his accident, so, Spence has got a tough fight, man. But if he gets past Garcia, which I believe he will, then surely next year this fight between Terence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. will be made. Probably won't be, but I hope it will be. So on that one, it's just a quick rant. I'm gonna get back on the road and get home, get my arse home after work. So peace out to you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.